You ready?
Sure.
Oh, hello and welcome in to the Erie Tiger Network. Brandon Bird, Grayson Blaylock here with you as it is a chilly night. The snow has piled up on the track on the edge of the sidelines. The team, well, let me just say this. You're wearing short sleeves tonight. You're a little bit crazy, but I'm sure we'll see plenty of that maybe from some of the big guys. But should be a fun one tonight, even though it's freezing cold. Not too many fans in the stands, so I'm kind of thinking that there might be a few people watching at home, warm and cozy and watching for free. We say that because you might see a reflection every once in a while. We have brought our camera inside so we don't have a popsicle for a cameraman, and that's what we've done tonight. So hopefully you are warm, drinking hot cocoa, and enjoying tonight's game because it should be at least a fun one if you're out of the elements.
It most definitely should be a fun one. If you're warm and at home, the student section, I don't know if I've ever seen it with this few students in it. I'm guessing a few of them, if not many, watching live.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the North Valley standings. Next week, no matter what, will be a league championship game between Erie and Fort Morgan. Both teams 3-0, so the winner will have at least, well, no matter what happens. Erie could lose tonight. If they win next week, they would still win the league. That's the point we're trying to make is you take a look at the league standings right there. Erie 5-3 overall, but 3-0 league play. Fort Morgan 3-0 in league play. In fact, if you looked at the top 10 rankings, Fort Morgan is 10th and Erie is 11th in terms of total number of votes received. So that should be a real fun one here at this field next week. We'll have our friends from Meteorologic Radio here. They'll do for the Fort Morgan game, and that'll be a fun one and a right for an automatic qualifier into the playoffs. We don't have the graphic, but we do have some kind of playoff implications that we'll talk about here as you take a look at what it takes to make the playoffs here. And auto bids, well, if you win your league and you're league champ, you get an auto bid. And right now, if you take a look, Grayson, give us a little bit of a rundown.
So in the Central League, maybe the best league overall in Class 3A, that one will go to the Palm Ridge Discovery Canyon winner next week. In the Mount Metro, Conifer controls their own destiny with a win this week. They'll take that league championship. In the North Metro League, Meade and Frederick, no matter what, just like Erie, Fort Morgan, and Palm Ridge Discovery Canyon, that'll be a league championship game. The loser of that will still get in easily with RPA. Obviously, you see the North Valley there. Erie and Fort Morgan next week. The South Central, Pueblo South has it all but wrapped up. A win this week gets them in. Harrison and Palisade, just like Pueblo South, almost clinched. With a win this week, they can.
And we don't have the full RPI up, but if you look at the wild card locks in terms of RPI, right now, Erie, they're kind of on that bubble a little bit, but they're on the good side of the bubble. Got to figure another win tonight. Either way, next week, you could just put it to bed. But regardless, well, they should still be in the playoffs, we think, but it could be close as you take a look at the bubble there.
It could be a little bit closer. The Tigers currently 11th in the RPA. That's just off the top of my head. But some wild card locks. The loser of the Palm Ridge Discovery Canyon game will be in for sure. The Lutheran Thomas Jefferson winner in the final week of the regular season, they'll be in.
And we are going to take a break here for a moment for the national anthem.
Better smile, have a broken bracket, or are you a teenager in need of some braces? Then make your way down to Caraway Orthodontics. They're located.
We are trying to get the national anthem live by Colby Arlington, who plays for the football team, but it's so cold, I think. There we go.
The dawn's early light, what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And once again, that was Colby Arlington performing the national anthem. Colby, of course, the fullback, defensive tackle, was the starting center, then got moved around. And Colby, just a great kid all around. Good to see him do the national anthem. Team's about ready to come out on the field. We're a couple minutes away from kickoff. We're going to take a timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Do you want a better smile, have a broken bracket, or are you a teenager in need of some braces? Then make your way down to Caraway Orthodontics. They're located in Louisville and Erie. Caraway Orthodontics supports Erie High School and its community. Come in and gain a beautiful smile for children, teens, and adults. They also provide Invisalign. Call this number 303-828-0454 or go to carawayortho.com.
And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. Brandon Bird, Grayson Blaylock here for you as we get you all set up for this matchup against Thompson Valley. And Grayson, we talked a little bit about the league standings and RPI. I think we go ahead and maybe finish that conversation. As said, there's a few teams on the playoff bubble.
There are a few teams square on the playoff bubble. The Lutheran Thomas Jefferson loser in the 3A Central will be right on the edge. Holy Family sitting in the precarious 15 spot. They don't control their own destiny. They have 2 games left that they should win. They've already lost 2 league games to Meade and Frederick. So it just depends for them on what the other teams do and how everything else plays out. And the Pueblo Central and Pueblo East winner will also have a shot at getting in. Pueblo East could miss the playoffs for the first time in a very long time if they don't beat the Wildcats tonight.
And, you know, you think about the CHSAA, the top 10, and, man, Erie's played so many teams in their non-conference schedule from that. A close nail-biter against Frederick, a game against Meade, Pueblo South on that list. Fort Morgan will be on that list next week. So that's partially why Erie, I mean, they're sitting at 5-3 right now, but they're looking pretty good at 11th because their strength of schedule so difficult. In fact, I believe when I checked the RPI earlier in the week, they had the toughest strength of schedule in the state, behind maybe Pueblo South. I don't know. It was like 1-2 Pueblo South and Erie.
Off the top of my head, I know a week ago before the Roosevelt game, they did have the toughest with having play teams that have over a 700 winning percentage. Durango took that spot from them this week after playing Pueblo South. They're sitting at about 670, 660. That stat just off the top of my head. But the Demons, despite having lost several games, are in the top 10 of the 3A RPI.
All right, we are about to get this one underway. It'll be Thompson Valley receiving the kickoff here. Tigers going from left to right on your screen in the black jerseys, black pants with the orange crowns here. And by the way, a special thanks to Brandon Havard, the cross-country coach. He is our camera person tonight. I think he was all too happy to accept the invitation to get out of the cold. But don't judge him. He is stepping in and helping us out without any formal training. Actually, they're going to flip the field here, so Thompson Valley will actually be receiving on the north end. So Erie will be going right to left on your screen. And bear with us for a moment, though. One unusual thing about this game is Thompson Valley has no stats. And so Erie about set to kick off. There's no stats for Thompson Valley anywhere, so we have a roster of players, but we don't really know the key players to this Thompson Valley team.
In fact, other than their record, the teams they've played, we know almost nothing about this Thompson Valley team. The one player I thought we would see back from Thompson Valley, who I thought was a junior last year, I could have been mistaken, in Cam Neller. He's not on the roster, is not on the sideline for the Eagles.
And Otavio will send it into the chilly night, taken at about the 8-yard line, and that's Ethan Charles that'll be corralled out of bounds as he crosses the 25 up to the 20, about 7-yard line, and that is where Thompson Valley will take things over on their first drive of the game. In fact, they'll officially spot him, I think, at the 29. So the Tigers will come out here after a solid performance last week against Roosevelt on the road. A trio of interceptions in that second half really propelled the defense. After opening the second half, they allowed 2 quick touchdowns, and then they adjusted and shut down the Riders the rest of the game. But 1st and 10 here for Thompson Valley. High snap. It's going to be Beaushirt rolling to his far sideline. He's a left-handed quarterback, and that one is incomplete.
Erie right away getting immediate pressure. Ian Vera burst through the line, forced the rollout, and then complete pass.
How to bring up a 2nd and 10 here for the Eagles, coached by Chris Tedford here. Thompson Valley out of Loveland, Colorado. You might remember that was probably our biggest struggle of a broadcast last year. It was a dead spot for our network service, and they didn't have any internet in the press box. High snap. Beaushirt's going to take it himself. Stops at the line of scrimmage. He's met by Ian Vera and driven backwards. I think he got maybe a yard on the run, and that's it.
Looks like they'll give him about half a yard as the Erie defense pursuing well so far.
This Thompson Valley team got squashed pretty good last week against Fort Morgan in a game on a Saturday. So even a short week of rest for this Eagle squad. Now Beaushirt in the shotgun here. He's got 2 wide to each side. He'll send a man in motion across the formation. He'll give it to him, trying to stretch it out to the near side, and getting flung down as Isaac Miller. So technically that'll go down as a complete pass to Isaac Miller. And that will pick up maybe a couple yards there, but that'll bring up 4th down, and the Tigers defense does their job on the first drive of the game.
They certainly do. Connor Quinn in the backfield that time for Erie. Looks like he grabbed the runner just by the back of his jersey and slung him to the ground. Already, Erie has a pretty good size advantage, noticeably, over the Eagles.
Kana and Schenbeck back to receive this punt. We've seen the Tigers get in there a couple times this year and block some punts. That's a high snap and almost blocked, as that one will kind of check up short, and Schenbeck comes up. I don't know if he signaled, and he did. He signaled, and that will be a penalty on Thompson Valley for interference on the catch. And that'll just add to the good field position that Erie will already have here in this first drive of the game.
And a really smart decision by Schenbeck there to come up and catch it. He signaled for the fair catch. That gunner for Thompson Valley didn't see it clearly as tackled him with the ball. He could have let it bounce, but now Erie will get a free 10 or 15 yards.
So personal foul, 15, tack it on, and the Tigers will start in Eagle territory for their first drive of the game. Fans, don't forget to check us out on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under the handle Erie Tiger Media. So be sure to check that out on all 3 of our social media profiles. Lots of content coming your way throughout the course of the year. We will hopefully have a little softball podcast up. If you didn't catch the highlights from that state championship game, I encourage you to go to our YouTube channel and check that out as well on Erie Tiger Network. So 1st and 10 here for the Tigers. It'll be Mendoza and Vivi to lead things in. Vivi just crossed the 1,000-yard barrier in his game last week against Roosevelt. Right now sitting at 1,005 yards, and the low snap, handoff to Vivi. He'll go through the left side. Big hole across the 30, 25. Now steps out of a tackle. Vivi cuts back across, and he scores on the first play of the game. 42 yards for Mason Vivi, and the Tigers are quickly on top.
Just like that, Vivi with a huge run. That didn't take long.
Yeah, that was a blink of an eye and a score, and we've seen a couple quick scores from Erie this season. That might be one of the quickest. You might remember a couple weeks ago against Niwot, the Tigers did just about the same thing. In fact, they almost got a safety on defense. I think they were even quicker, though, that game. So not quite the quickest score, but 10:01 remaining in this first quarter, and the Tigers are already on top, 7-0, as that one is kicked right down the pipe. So Erie leads it here, 7-0 in the opening frame, 10:01 remaining. We're going to take a quick timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
You have a plan in place for your family's future in the event something happens to you. Are you caring for aging parents, grandparents, or a loved one with special needs? The Germany law firm named 2017 Erie's Chamber Business of the Year provides expert legal guidance and peace of mind for you and your family in the areas of probate, elder law, and estate planning. Visit Germany Law Firm's Erie Village office or website at coelderlaw.net to set up a personalized consultation.
And welcome back in. 7-0, Tigers lead it. 10:01 left in the first quarter, and that's about as perfect as a start as you can get. 3 and out, and then you score on the first play of the game. And Grayson, even on that handoff, it looked like, holes quickly closing. All of a sudden, Mason Vivi just burst down the sideline.
He did. He showed great explosiveness on that run, found holes, created his own, made some defenders miss, and waltzed into the end zone for another touchdown for Erie.
Vivi, his longest of the season was 82, but he's averaged over 7 yards a carry this season. So a good campaign so far for Vivi, and he's still not done. This kickoff is bobbled. Ball's on the turf. Did Erie pop on it? And a couple of the players are signaling that they did. Still waiting for the Man in the stripes, and no, Thompson Valley fell back on it. You saw the returner there. I think that was Trey Kriegmeyer for Thompson Valley. Without being touched, he started bobbling the ball as he headed into traffic and then put it on the turf. Unfortunately for the Tigers, they weren't able to pop on that.
And it almost looked as if he never caught it cleanly.
So Beauchert will head back out here for Thompson Valley and the Eagles. 1st and 10. Beauchert in the shotgun, too wide to the near side, and that's where he's going to look. The lefty will roll. He's in trouble. He's going to be flung back, and he is tackled in the end zone. I think they'll give him forward progress, though, to about the 2 or 3 yard line where the initial contact was made. And, man, they're going to give him really good forward progress all the way up to the 8 yard line, but a huge loss there on 1st down. And, well, they'll call that about an 11-yard loss.
Connor Quinn again flying into the backfield, just like he did on that 3rd down play, throwing Beauchert down by the back.
And this Tiger defense has come out furious here in this 1st quarter of play. Beauchert again in shotgun with Caleb Burton flanking him. And they're going to hand it off to Burton. Finds a little hole on the right side and will get a decent chunk there. As they're still short of the original line of scrimmage by about 2 or 3 yards, but a decent pickup there of about 9 on the play for Burton.
And for Thompson Valley, a good job of getting it to 3rd and more manageable instead of 3rd and very long.
Still 3rd and 12 here. And unusual to see a left-handed quarterback. Still kind of throwing me off here with Beauchert. They'll have 3 wide to the near side as Thompson Valley. It's going to be a handoff back to Miller again, or excuse me, Burton again, and he has enough. Needed 12, ended up picking up about 13, and good back-to-back runs there against this Erie defense.
And a good play call, too, a draw against the blitzing Tigers. Waited about half a second before handing it off, and then went with a weak side draw. That was open, and then the safety came up for Erie to make the tackle, but not quite in time.
So 1st and 10 for Thompson Valley, 7:53 remaining here in this 1st quarter. Ball spotted at the far hash. It'll be Beauchert in the shotgun. Flanking him is Burton. He'll fake it to Burton, and that was a busted play, and dropped again is Beauchert for another loss, and that time it's going to be about 7 yards on the loss. And, Beauchert, 3 runs, negative 13 yards so far.
Not exactly what you want to see on the stat sheet after 3 sacks of Beauchert. And Connor Quinn very quickly is having himself a night. We haven't called his name much this year. He's already got 2 sacks and a tackle for a loss.
Excuse me, my fingers are chilly and I mispunched the number. It's actually negative 16 so far after about a 6-yard loss on that one. So, snap. And look, the lefty will step up in the pocket, and he is sacked again. 2nd sack, another loss on the play. And, Thompson Valley is going the wrong direction.
They are. The Erie pass rush, after getting burned by a draw, they hesitated this time a little bit, made sure it wasn't a draw before pursuing relentlessly. And it's pretty easy to see that this Erie defensive line, they've got a quickness advantage over the Thompson Valley offensive line.
And that is negative 24 yards rushing now for the Thompson Valley quarterback. Unfortunately, in high school, sack yardage goes as negative rush yardage. Now, handoff and not going very far as that run, a pickup of about 4 on the play, and and it was Miller on the carry, Isaac Miller. And it'll be a punting situation here for Thompson Valley.
The Erie defense once again does its job and holds the Eagles.
Tigers still have 2 deep men, but they've kind of changed up their return formation here. And actually, one of them is not Grayson Schenbeck. He was the one that got kind of crunched on that kick-catch interference. There's a low punt. Calling for a fair catch in there for the Tigers is Owen Masters. And it will be a Tiger first down once again on the Thompson Valley side of the field. 1st and 10 from the 46 with 5:30 remaining here. And we've only seen one offensive play from Erie tonight.
If at the end of this drive we've only seen 2, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing either.
If you look across, there's just not a ton of fans here in the stands. Probably the most lightly attended Tiger football game I have ever been to.
And definitely the most lightly attended Tiger football game that I have ever been to.
1st and 10 here. Snap, handoff, VV, right side, stutters, and gets tripped up as he gets across the line of scrimmage. He'll end up picking up a couple. And so VV, 44 yards rushing already in this contest. Good start for him.
I'm going to go to play fake from Mendoza. Drew some of the Thompson Valley defensive linemen to him. Not allowed VV to get past the line of scrimmage for a couple of yards.
By the way, if you were listening to the broadcast last week, we didn't have video. We hope to maybe have some highlights with some of our commentary up later next week of last week's Roosevelt game. I said that Mendoza, as that he hands it off to VV, kind of just follows a couple blockers and will chop his way forward for a pickup of a couple more. I said he threw into traffic. He did throw into double coverage, but as great of a catch as it was by Schenbeck, it actually was a pretty great throw by Mendoza. So I saw Gavin's dad before the game, and he mentioned that, and I was like, yeah, you're right. I saw that on film as well. So it was a good throw there by Mendoza, so I had to give him a little bit of props this week for that. But a 3rd and long here for the Tigers, 3rd and about 6, or maybe a long 5 here for Erie. Mendoza will check in with the sideline. Flanking him is VV Ball, spot at the far hash with 4 minutes remaining in this quarter. Van Landingham will get the handoff as he comes across, stops, and he will lose 3 yards. I think that was actually a handoff, not a little. You see those little touch passes that Dana Holgerson kind of made famous. Actually, you know who invented that was Bob Stitt out of the Colorado School of Mines. He was kind of the pioneer of that. Now Bob Stitt, he went up to Montana. I think he's at Oklahoma State or something now. But yeah, just going into the vault for that info, Grayson. Now the Tigers will punt it here. And a low one that's going to bounce at the 20, but takes a great Tiger bounce. Still rolling inside the 5, and I think this might be down at the 1. And so it was a low one, but it had the roll, and sometimes the odd shape of a football will take a funny bounce, and it works out for Erie this time. And Thompson Valley, who has already had several negative plays tonight, is going to have to snap from the shadow of their own goal line. And they will spot it officially right at the 1.
Great punt coverage there from Justin Jones. Let it roll down to the 1 and then stopped it right at the 1. And not necessarily the best punt in terms of hang time or of how good it looks, but it gets the job done.
So 1st and 10 from the 1. Bockert in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off. Tigers trying to get there, and good job fighting for yardage there. I think was Schaefer. Well, they actually don't have a number 1 list on their roster, but I think it's just misnumbered. I think that is Jason Schaefer on the carry. And he will end up picking up a couple, so that at least they have some breathing room here, are the Eagles.
2nd down and 8.
But 2nd and 8 now for Thompson Valley. Three wide in the formation. They're going to run the fade down the sideline, and that is just misfired. Havard was on the coverage there. They tried to connect with Kriegmeyer, and an incomplete pass will make it a 3rd and long.
Coverage from Havard, he was right where he needed to be, and the ball thrown into the sideline.
Well, we better say good things about Ladorian here in this press box. So 3rd and 8 here for Thompson Valley. 2:09 remaining here in this frigid first quarter. A wall of snow encircling the field. Looks like something out of the Game of Thrones, or I don't know. Now a handoff, a stretch play, and that's going to be awful close to the goal line. It will be Burton, and he loses a couple. And now Thompson Valley is going to have to punt with the punter's heels, I think, right up against the end line. Let's see if Erie sends some pressure here. So Kana and Masters back to receive the kick. Minute and a half left in this first quarter. Tigers looking good so far. Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it's away. It's going to be taken by Kana at the 33. Kana will reverse field to his left, now cuts it up, and will drive his way inside the 20. And so the Tigers will start at 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line.
I don't know if we've seen Erie have this good starting field position for a drive all year.
Does seem like they've been backed up quite a bit, but a couple interceptions last week. The Tigers were able to start inside the opponent's 35. But they'll start this one from inside the red zone.
Last week, unfortunately, the one game I couldn't make it to, actually the first game since the team traveled down to Durango my sophomore year that I have not been to. I was at state softball. Of course, that was an excellent experience.
Yeah, for good reason, though, for sure. So 1st and 10 here for the Tigers out of the punt. Only a minute 11 left here in this quarter. And there was a penalty on Thompson Valley. And Erie gets yardage tacked on to the end. And so they'll actually start just inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. So I didn't quite see. I thought I saw the referee made an illegal motion kind of gesture, but I never saw a flag, so I didn't know it was a penalty. And now the Thompson Valley coach wants an explanation. So 1st and 10 here for the Tigers. Mendoza in the pistol. He's got Vera as the H-back and VV behind him. Low snap. They'll run play action. Mendoza peeling out to his right, looking downfield. Throws it across the grain and almost connected with 2 different Tigers. I think Sire and Havard were both in the area. Neither one were able to squeeze their mitts on the football.
I wasn't able to tell if Havard did get a hand on it. I don't know which one was his intended receiver, but it looks like Mendoza put it between the 2 of them.
And Mendoza, on the year, by the way, now has thrown for 885 yards, so nearing on throwing for 1,000 yards this season. 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. VV, the deep man in the pistol. Van Landingham will go in motion this time. Snap, handoff, VV, right side, stutters through the hole, still fighting for yardage, and he will be stopped just inside the 10, down to the 9, and a 5-yard pickup there for VV on 2nd down. .44 seconds left here in this first quarter of play.
Check down will go 3rd and 4 for the Tigers.
Sire will check back in. Now, Vivi out of the Wildcat with Vera next to him. Low snap. He'll hand it off to Vera, and Vera will fight his way, leans the ball forward. He'll end up picking up about 3 on the play. And I tell you what, that was awful close to Mason Vivi going low for the snap, having a knee down in the backfield.
It was really close.
And that will do it here in the first quarter. The Tigers will open up the second quarter with a 4th down. We'll take a timeout. Tigers lead at 7-0 here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Are you looking to buy or sell a new home? Jen McGurk, an experienced real estate agent serving Erie, Vista Ridge, and the surrounding Denver area. For years, Jen has assisted all types of buyers and sellers with their real estate needs. Give Jen a call today at 303-949-3331 or check out Jen Realty online at jenrealty.com.
Yeah. And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. Brandon Bird, Grayson Blaylock here with you as we head into the second quarter here. As it will be a 4th down conversion attempt here for Erie. And it will be 4th and 3 from the 7-yard line. So Erie can still get a first down here. They don't necessarily need to score a touchdown. I don't think we will see the field goal unit, and we won't. And it looks like the Tigers are going to run out of the Wildcat here with Vivi and Vera. Arlington in there, Tab in there. So this is the heavy package here for the Tigers.
The jumbo package, if you will.
Kana split out wide to the near side. We did see a passing touchdown last week from someone not named Gavin Mendoza. That was Schenbeck that threw that one. And a timeout coming out of the quarter for the Tigers. So I don't know if they just didn't like what they saw, but they are going to talk this one over. Fans, we'd love for you to partner with us. We have our playoffs coming up, which means if we want to continue broadcasting playoff games, we need your support. Head to patreon.com/Erie Tiger Network. You can support us, heck, for as little as $1 a month. And you can cancel anytime. So we'd really appreciate your support on Patreon. Helps keep the constant stream of support coming into the Erie Tiger Network so we can do broadcasts like this when they come up. And we typically use that to pay our network coverages, which we have to use here in this stadium. No Wi-Fi. Of course, you know that if you've ever been to Tiger Stadium.
No Wi-Fi yet.
So 4th and 3. Vivi, low snap, handoff to Vera, left side, kind of waits and then punches toward the line to gain, and I think he's going to be short, and the Thompson Valley players are celebrating, and the Tigers will turn it over on down. So you figure you score the first play of the game, your defense is dominating, you get great field position inside the 20, and the Tigers come away empty-handed in terms of points there. That will make the blood boil of a coaching staff, I think, quicker than just about anything.
Most certainly will.
So 1st and 10, once again from deep in their own territory is Thompson Valley. Thompson Valley right now 4 total yards of offense. Walker will take the ball, and he is not going to get out of the end zone, I don't think. He tried to lean it forward, and no signal yet. And yes, the referee will call a safety, and so the Tigers will score 2 points on a safety, and another loss of yardage there, a 6-yard loss, and a safety there for the Tigers. You could feel it coming. It's like they were just playing for it all game so far.
Who knows? Maybe they intentionally didn't convert just to get the safety.
Yeah.
Kind of doubt it.
Okay.
That-
They will gladly take that, though. That's for sure. Erie working on a 3-game win streak right now, trying to get number 4, and they're now up 9-0.
And already for the Tigers, 4 sacks in this one. We might have to pull up the record for sacks in a game, if that's a stat that's kept in the record books. Because, well, you can't imagine that it's too ridiculously high. You're at the beginning of the second quarter, actually the second play of the second quarter. You've already got 4, on pace for 14, 16 maybe. That's a lot of sacks in a game.
And so Thompson Valley will take the free kick from the 20 off the tee. Some teams can elect to punt it and do. Thompson Valley will kick this one. And both Tiger returners standing at about the 30-yard line. This is taken by the up man. That's Van Landingham across the 50. Van Landingham out to the near side, trying to stay in bounds. And another Tiger drive that will start inside the 40. Tigers, I think the coaches down the sideline will be preaching execution, though. By the way, I'm surprised by the number of Tigers that have basically low socks. Tell you what, I would be bundled up like the Michelin Man.
I don't see any players with short sleeves, though.
I did see, I thought I saw Drake Rhodes with the short sleeves. In fact, I think you can see him in there. Drake, the tallest player, he's coming out with short sleeves because why not? So Tigers will come out here, 1st and 10 from the 38, and another timeout will be expended here. And right now, out of transitions, Tiger offense having a little bit of a tough time getting things going. But a 9-0 lead. They scored off a 42-yard run on the first play of the game, on offense at least, for the Tigers by Vivi. And then the Tigers, they have dropped the Thompson Valley quarterback 4 straight times for a loss of 11, a loss of 6, a loss of 8, and a loss of 6 again, except the last one for a safety. And so I know you mentioned sacks, Grayson. I'm not sure. I think that was a running attempt, that last one. And I don't think, just because the quarterback, I don't think they'll give sacks unless it's a clear passing play. So either way, maybe nearing a record for tackles for loss. Good grief. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Mendoza in the pistol. He'll send Kana in motion. He'll run play action with both of them. Steps up. It's a post pattern to Schenbeck, and a well-defended play by the quarterback here for Thompson Valley on a throw that just didn't quite have enough steam, and Mendoza threw into that one. I think got caught up just a hair.
That is what it appeared. Maybe threw it a little bit too high for Schenbeck to go up and get. Came down a little lower or a little closer than what Mendoza would have intended.
Now 2nd and 10 here for the Tigers. Tried to go for the touchdown. And Mendoza will keep it himself right side. Just weaves through traffic and still fights his way across the 30. Good run there by Mendoza. He was kind of touched up there about 3 yards downfield and just continued to follow blockers and be pushed forward. It picks up 9.
You mentioned on that last play the quarterback for Thompson Valley on the pass breakup. Thompson Valley without a big bench. They look to maybe only have 25 players, maybe a little more in uniform.
3rd and 1 here. Mendoza takes the low snap, hands off to Vivi, gets through a big hole. Vivi breaks a tackle, runs over a defender inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line. So a decent run there for Vivi. And a first down here for Erie. So they'll mark it right at that 17-yard line. Ball spotted toward the near side. Now rolling to his right is Mendoza. Throws all the way back across the field to Kana. And an interesting, nice little play design there. That will pick up about 7.
Kana, it looked like he could have had some room to the outside. Mendoza threw it about a beat late. And the Thompson Valley secondary able to get there for the tackle.
So 2nd and a long 3 here for Erie. Ball spotted just outside the 10. They need to get it down to just inside the 7. Mendoza takes a snap, turns, throws the screen to Havard, skies for it, gets met, trying to twist out of it and fights his way forward for a couple yards. And Havard did a good job just to gain something on that play, as that was well diagnosed by the Thompson Valley defense. That'll bring up 3rd and 1.
With 3rd and short here, he will go into their jumbo set again.
Varon Vivi back there. I always like this. You essentially get an extra blocker that you don't get because usually the defense doesn't have to account for the quarterback run nearly as much. Now Vivi will pick his way forward, has enough for a first down, needed a long one, ended up picking up almost 3 yards on the carry. And Vivi setting up the Tigers in a good spot. So 1st and goal now from the 6-yard line. Snap, give to Vera, left side. Hole closing up quickly, but drives the legs forward, and he'll end up picking up about a yard. Clock all the way down to 8:09 here in this first half.
A very fast-moving first half.
And it'll be Vivi this time, spinning his way toward the goal line. Touchdown. And so a 5-yard run from Vivi will give the Tigers a almost 3-possession lead here. Not quite. We'll go for the extra point here. It should be 15 or 16 nothing here after this extra point. But another Vivi run, his 2nd touchdown of the game. This one from 5 yards out. Snap, good, hold good, kick is up, and it is good. 16-0, Tigers lead it. We'll step aside, take a quick timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Go to where the action's at. Go find your sense of adventure. Go Airheads, Airsoft Field and Store located in Erie, Colorado. Go Airheads and go Tigers.
Range Landfill puts all your needs in front of everything else. Front Range Landfill won Erie Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year Award, as well as being featured on national television. We are very proud of our facility and we welcome the opportunity to address your disposal needs. Our focus is on customer service. We strive to achieve easy and rapid access in and out of the facility. We feel certain that we will exceed your expectations of your solid waste disposal requirements. Choose Front Range Landfill for all your landfill needs. You will be pleased.
And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. Brandon Bird, Grayson Blaylock here with you on a frosty icy Friday night under the lights. And this kick's going to check up. Oh, and tell you what, that was awful close to, I think, maybe Owen Masters running down and getting that kick. As it checked up short, and known from Thompson Valley wanted to pop on it. Instead, it'll be a penalty here for the Tigers for kicking it out of bounds. And Thompson Valley will start things on the 35. And I think this might be their best field position of the night.
That is certainly possible. We saw on the punt, Erie got a good bounce on that kickoff. Not the perfect bounce as it bounced straight out of bounds. And if it had died, rolled a little bit, could have been a very, very long onside kick.
1st and 10 for the Tigers, or excuse me, for the Eagles at the 35. Bacher will take it, looking, waiting, no one there, finally tracking him down and slamming him to the turf. Another drop for a loss, that time Dylan Hall. And that's going to be a 7, maybe 8-yard loss, depending on what this flag is.
They call a horse collar tackle on Hall. I didn't necessarily see the horse collar, and I'm not sure if it's this way in high school as well, and I believe it's college. They just changed the rule to allow it to be a tackle by the neck or upper shoulder pads area. A slightly modified horse collar tackle rule.
So that's a 15-yard penalty. It's not an automatic first down, so it'll be a 2nd and 2. Or no, they'll keep the down. So 1st and 2 for Thompson Valley. And now the official's going to stop things, so maybe it is I'm not sure. First down. So that's what the white hat is signaling. So they do keep the down. So 1st and 2. But that was the 5th straight run by Bacher that went for negative yards, and this one might too. And, I think he just got back to the line of scrimmage. And right now, Bacher is running for his life.
This Erie front 7, they're pretty good.
2nd and 2 now here for Thompson Valley. They're taking their time here. 7:02 remaining here in this first half of play. I think fans here in the stadium would really welcome a running clock here tonight. Handoff, kind of a little cutback, and will depend on the spot. I thought the ball carrier's knees kind of hit earlier and then he fell forward, but they'll give him a pretty good spot and a first down. Needed a couple, picked up 3, and that time it was Schaefer on the carry.
What's interesting there is the far side official had him right at that down to gain. The near side official gave him the extra yard. They went with the near side official's call, and it's a first down for Thompson Valley.
Ball to 46 here. Eagles will come out with trips to the far side of the field. Bacher in the shotgun, takes a snap, looks, the lefty fires the slant, and it's knocked down, and good defense that time. That was Caleb Rasmussen that got his paw in there and knocked it down.
Just about perfect coverage there from Rasmussen. Timed it perfectly.
2nd and 10, 6:03 remaining. I think these parents are eagerly awaiting halftime to maybe go sit in their cars or something. I can't imagine playing a metal instrument tonight if you're a member of the band.
I don't see the band on the field. Part of me, a very small part of me, hopes that maybe they just stay inside the band room tonight.
You do know that Grayson will sneak down. Timeout by Thompson Valley. 6:03 remaining here in the first half of play. We'll take a quick timeout. Tigers lead it 16-0 here on the broadcast.
For the card-carrying fan, get your CU Visa debit card so you can take the game with you. Free with First National Bank's free checking.
Welcome back in. 2nd and 10 here for Thompson Valley. Bacher takes a snap. He's going to throw it away, and that's incomplete. And man, I tell you what, can't be fun playing quarterback tonight for Thompson Valley, as Bacher has been running for his life. And we will have a little snippet from Will Kana here in just a second, as and we caught up with him earlier this week. Will Kana, the senior class president for Erie High School. And we'll go to that in just a little bit, as there's a snap, low, handoff, and not much room there for Schaefer. I think he got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it. So it's going to be a 4th and 9 here. They'll actually give him a yard. And Erie will get the ball back, and with 5:40 left, you're thinking, if you're the Erie coaches, you want to see him score here. You might even want to get a stop and see him score again. You want running clock to send a statement. That's what Fort Morgan was able to accomplish against this Thompson Valley team. You want to do the same. And it's here at home on a chilly night. You'd also like to maybe get out of Dodge a little bit early. And Tigers almost blocked that punt, a pretty good one over the head. It's going to be through the fingers of Kana. He'll stop, reverse field. Now Kana is off to the races, across the 15, the 20, trying to get around to the sideline and knocked out at the 25. And while the team is coming onto the field here, let's take a look at what Will Kana had to say.
Kana, number 16, is one of Erie High's wide receivers and safeties. He is also the school's senior class president.
The senior class to have everything they wanted this year, and I just wanted to be there to support that for them. Like, I got them senior parking spots. I helped out. I got them the dance that they wanted for homecoming. And
there we go. So that was Will Kana. Member Stugo, the senior class president, is Kana. And there's a handoff up the middle, and not much going on. As I tell you what, neither coaching staff real pleased with the last minute or so of execution here in the press box. So 2nd and 9 here. Is hopefully you're not picking that up on our mic. 4:29 remaining. Mendoza, and behind him, can't tell if that's Thyssen or Vera. Arlington will go in motion. Low snap, handoff, fumble, and the running back will pop back on it, and that is Thyssen. And there's been some low snaps here in this game. That's kind of plagued the Tigers a little bit.
Especially since Colby Arlington has moved away from that center position to the H-back fullback position.
So 3rd and 11 here. Vivi back out on the field. Vivi's one of those that's wearing the short sleeves tonight. 3.5 minutes remaining. Mendoza will watch Arlington go in motion. Tigers will, I don't know if that's a timeout or a penalty, and it's a delay of game. So they've just been a little bit sluggish in terms of getting plays ready to go from the field tonight.
That's something, if you're Erie, that you want to clean up before that Fort Morgan game.
Now Mendoza, he's going to throw the little screen back to Vivi. Vivi up the sideline, makes a man miss. He's got first down yardage and then some across the 40 and finally gets stacked up right there at the 40. I thought he initially squeaked through a little hole there at the 40. That was actually one of his lead blockers out running ahead, but picked up enough for a first down on the pass play. Longest pass of the night so far by the Tigers.
And if you're Erie looking to get another score before halftime, a big first play is the way to start a drive.
2:40 remaining here in this first half. Low snap again. Mendoza rolling to his right, looks downfield. Now he's going to stop, throw it long for Schenbeck, and he turns and makes the catch. Great catch there by Schenbeck. And they will call it down at the 18.
Schenbeck, as we take another look at this one, got his back foot in and then fell on his right shoulder in bounds before rolling out of bounds. So two big pass plays for Erie.
Schenbeck and Mendoza are kind of starting to gain a deep connection here in the Tiger passing game the last few weeks. Now Mendoza will play action. He'll throw it toward the end zone and just underthrew his intended target. I think that was Kana, who was wide open. Nope, that was actually, who was that out there? That was Aiden Otzinger. And unfortunately, I think you roll to your left as a right-handed quarterback. That throw is a little bit tough to make and just couldn't quite get enough mustard on it.
The cold may be a little bit of a factor with that one.
So 2nd and 10 now. Mendoza in the pistol with Vivi behind him. He'll hand it off to Vivi. He'll run off the left side, bounce off the defense, still on his feet, and he'll actually lose yards as he got knocked backwards. So Vivi, after an opening run of 42 yards, has been actually bottled up fairly decent here. Only 74 yards rushing total. I'll actually give him a loss of about 3 there. So 3rd and 13 here. Tigers taking their time. Only 1:24 left to go in this quarter. Another low snap. Mendoza to pass. He'll throw the fade. Has a man. And it's caught in the corner of the end zone. Jonah Van Landingham comes down, taps both feet in bounds, and the Tigers score here before the half. Great throw, great catch. As you saw, Mendoza step up nicely into the pocket, uncorked one deep, and a great catch there in the end zone by Jonah Van Landingham. And the Tigers will take a 22-0 lead right now, trying to make it 23-0. And that one is good. So 23-0. Tigers lead at minute 13 remaining here in this first half. And how about a couple of the catches on that drive? One from Schenbeck, one from Van Landingham. both kind of turning around, high pointing the ball, spilling onto their back, and both really nicely executed, and the Tigers score a touchdown on that drive. So the 1:13 left here in this half. Tigers now lead at 23-0. And they will get the ball to start the second half as well. And Tavio will be the one to send this one deep, kind of working into the wind here. And this one will be short into that wind, all the way at the 20 is where Thompson Valley will get it, and a head of steam and a decent return there. And that was Trey Kreikmeyer on the return, and Thompson Valley will start at the 40. Well, if you're the Eagles coach, do you be aggressive here with 1:13 left, or just kind of run it a couple times, try and get into the locker room and reset? Remember, as I just said, the Tigers will get the ball to start the half. So, Bachert will come back out, as he's got to be seeing ghosts here tonight. The lefty will take it, roll, he'll throw it high, caught, and a good tackle there in open space. That time it was Dylan Hall who made the nice tackle. And that's the second completed pass of the game, a 4-yarder for Bachert out there. I believe that was Miller that made the catch. 40 seconds and counting now, and a timeout coming from Thompson Valley. So they are going to try and at least be a little aggressive here. They come out throwing. They call a timeout. And we may even see there's 36 seconds left. Thought they may have called that timeout a hair earlier, but I don't see the official going to add any more time here. Folks, we will have playoff soccer tomorrow on the Erie Tiger Network as the soccer team heads all the way down to Pueblo to take on the Cyclones out of Pueblo West. And so we'll have that one on our network. I believe that one will be a 1 o'clock start time. So be sure to subscribe to YouTube, our YouTube channel, and you can get all the latest updates if you hit the notification button as to when we go live with the stream so you don't miss any of them. Now 2nd and 6 here. Thompson Valley will drop back under pressure. Is Bachert. He'll roll to the near side, still looking downfield. He'll take it and run it himself. He's across the 50 into Erie territory and slung down at the 40. A 16-yard gain there for Bachert, and that's by far his best run of the night. Negative 14 yards rushing for him still after the 16-yard carry. So 1st and 10 here for Thompson Valley. 19 seconds left. Clock stops temporarily till they get the chain set. High snap. Bachert looking, rolls to his left, stops, gets hammered from behind. Ball's on the turf, and Erie jumps on it. So a fumble, and the Tigers pick it up, and they'll have the ball with 8 seconds left. And that was a train that was branded for the back of Bachert. Oh, my goodness. He took a shot there. Tell you what, it's freezing cold outside, but he still might want a trip to the ice bath later tonight. So 8 seconds left. What do you do here if you're Erie? And it looks like they're going to run some type of play. So 1st and 10 here from the 48. They're going to motion out Vivi to the near side. Snap. Mendoza, he's going to throw it deep to Vivi. Vivi trying to adjust. He makes the catch down to the 10. 1 second left. The Tigers, I will call their last time. Do they have one left? I think they do. And they will call timeout with the second left. And so how about that pass play from the 48 all the way down to about the 12-yard line? A 38-yard pass from Mendoza to Vivi. Good pass. Mendoza's had a couple solid deep balls cutting into the wind, and Vivi made a good adjustment on the other end. Tigers' deep passing game has worked out well. So the Tigers will run one more play, and it will be a field goal here. And so this will be a try of 28 yards from the near hash. And a timeout coming for Thompson Valley as they literally want to ice the kicker. So Otavio trying to make his first field goal of the year. He's only attempted one. 0 for 1. You see a little bit of the reflection of the glass in there. We're sorry you've seen a little glare there, but we kind of mentioned this earlier in the game. Do not want a cameraman that is also an ice cube tonight, so we brought the camera inside, and that's why you see a little bit of the glare from time to time here from inside the press box as we're shooting from behind glass, as it is a chilly one, and I think that's an understatement. It's freezing cold here inside the press box. I can't even imagine right now being a fan sitting on the metal bleachers. So here comes from the near hash, Mendoza the holder. Snap good, hold good, kick is up, and it is partially blocked. And it will be in the end zone, and that will end it. So, unfortunately, I think it was just partially blocked there at the line of scrimmage. Never got there. And so the first half will end with Erie leading it 23-0 here over Thompson Valley. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back and have some halftime goodies for you here on the ETN.
You have a plan in place for your family's future in the event something happens to you. Are you caring for aging parents, grandparents, or a loved one with special needs? The Germany law firm named 2017 Erie's Chamber Business of the Year provides expert legal guidance and peace of mind for you and your family in the areas of probate, elder law, and estate planning. Visit Germany Law Firm's Erie Village office or website at coelderlaw.net to set up a personalized consultation.
You are watching the ETN.
And welcome back in audio-wise as we're waiting for the band to come on the field here. We'll go over some of the halftime numbers for you here as Erie leads it 23-0 at halftime. Well, it's been a pretty good game so far for the Tigers. 210 yards on offense for Thompson Valley, only 14 total yards in that first half. As Mendoza, he threw 9 pass attempts, completed 6 of them for 127 yards and a touchdown as well. In terms of the receptions, Vivi had 2 catches, one for 38, one for 15, for 53 total yards. Will Kana had a catch for 7 yards. Dorian Havard had a catch for 2 yards. Jonah Van Landingham had the touchdown catch for 22 yards, and Grayson Schenbeck had one for 43. On the ground, Vivi's led the way with 10 carries for 73 yards, 1 carry for Mendoza for 9 yards, 3 for Verith for 6, and then a negative 3-yard rush and a negative 2-yard rush by Van Landingham and Thyssen. The Tigers 83 total yards on the ground. And, Thompson Valley, 2 for 6 is Bockert for 6 yards on the ground. Bockert has rushed it 8 times for negative 22 yards. 20 yards rushing for Caleb Burton on 3 carries. 1 rush for 4 yards by Isaac Miller and 3 rushes for 6 yards by Jace Schaefer. Isaac Miller has both catches for 4 yards, and that is the tale of the stats here at halftime. The band is on the field, and we will stay with the band on the field here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Your Erie High School Marching Band.
Are you looking to buy or sell a new home? Jen McGurk, an experienced real estate agent serving Erie, Vista Ridge, and the surrounding Denver area. For years, Jen has assisted all types of buyers and sellers with their real estate needs. Give Jen a call today at 303-949-3331 or check out Jen Realty online at jenrealty.com.
Have you ever wanted to support the Erie Tiger Network, the student media arm of Erie High School? Well, now you can. We have set up a Patreon page. There's a way for you to send us a monthly pledge in order to provide funding for the program, as well as get access to reward tiers. As a Tiger fan, you get the satisfaction in knowing you are helping out your favorite local media organization. As a member of the ETN fan club, you are officially recognized on air and can receive ETN goodies throughout the year. As an in-broadcast red sponsor, you get to sponsor a specific segment of any broadcast. For more information, email bird_brandon at sbbsd.org. This is a $25 per month commitment. As an appreciator of Erie's live broadcast with the weekly news, you can help support this program by becoming one of our patrons by going to bit.ly/ETN Patreon.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
In Erie, talk to State Farm agent Jeannie Hulse.
Do you want a better smile, have a broken bracket, or are you a teenager in need of some braces? Then make your way down to Caraway Orthodontics. They are located in Louisville and Erie. Caraway Orthodontics supports Erie High School and its community. Come in and gain a beautiful smile for children, teens, and adults. They also provide Invisalign. Call this number 303-828-0454 or go to carawayortho.com.
For the card-carrying fan, get your CU Visa debit card so you can take the game with you. Free with First National Bank's free checking.
You are watching the ETN.
Click the search bar on the top right-hand corner of the screen and search up Erie Tiger Network. Click the channel icon and then press the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications about when we post. Click the thumbs up icon to like the video. To enter full screen mode, press the icon on the bottom right hand corner. To skip forward or backwards 10 seconds, double tap the left or right hand side of the screen. Press the pause button and
welcome back in. Erie Tiger Network, Brandon Bird here with you. Grayson Blaylock will join us shortly as it is it's still as frosty as it can be. Nothing changed there, but hopefully you are warm. Maybe you're by a fire. Maybe you're drinking hot chocolate. Let us know in the chat, and maybe it'll help us feel a little bit warmer in the press box, or maybe we'll just hate you. I'm not sure. But kickoff coming here. Erie will receive this one, as it's Burton set to send this one deep. 24-0 lead for the Tigers. And here we go. Burton will step into this one, and it's a little poocher onside, and the Tigers jumped on it. Good awareness. You know, I was going to say something I should have. You just felt like Thompson Valley might try and come out and make a play. And jumping on that for the Tigers, I actually can't see because he's covering his chest. I think he got a little banged up there trying to jump on that one. That was Jake Farling. So good job, and the Tigers will have good field position because of the heads-up play there by Farling. Like the idea there by Thompson Valley, they just couldn't quite execute. Tigers scored on the first play from scrimmage in the first half. And they'll start here 59 yards away from the goal line. Hand off to Vivi, right side hesitates and will burrow his way through a hole. And actually that one closed up right as he got back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play for Vivi. And Vivi has been bottled up pretty good since that 42-yard run. Has had 2 runs of over 10 yards, but has had 3 go for 0 or less, including a 7-yard loss. So Vivi trying to find some room out there. I'm sure that was a point of emphasis in the locker room at halftime. 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. 2 split out to the near side. Their long passing game has worked extremely well. Mendoza takes a snap, hands it off right side. Vivi weaves through traffic. Vivi gets across the 50, 40, and a flag will come in behind the play as Vivi cuts across, and he will score. But Schenbeck, who was down on the play, there's a flag all the way back at the 48-yard line in Thompson Valley territory. As it stands right now, it would be a 59-yard run, and it will be a hold. And I tell you what, we can hear the coaches' boxes tonight, and the Thompson Valley coaches next to us were screaming and begging for a hold, and they got one. So from the spot, it'll be a 10-yard penalty, so it'll end up basically as a 2-yard gain.
Being able to hear the coaches gives us an interesting perspective that we don't always get.
Sometimes a quite colorful perspective. So 2nd and 9 actually for Erie. So in effect it'll wipe off a 59-yard run, but that did happen a yard past the sticks. Now Mendoza hard count, almost gets Thompson Valley to jump. They wanted it. Now they'll check the sideline. Tigers will change up the play here. Thompson Valley looking like they're going to send 5, maybe more. Low snap, handoff. Vivi right side spins his way to the 45. And, man, that's so frustrating as a runner. You bust one open for 50-plus yards, and it gets called all the way back. Still not more devastating. If you remember a couple years ago out in Roosevelt, that Noah Roper touchdown run that was called back when they took the lead. That one was probably the worst penalty I've seen in terms of a back-breaking penalty for this Tiger squad. There's a discussion from the far linesman, the umpire, and they were trying to figure out the down. It should be, well, they'll say 3rd down now.
3rd down and 6 for the Tigers, the ball at their own 45.
Mendoza takes a snap, looks, fires the curl route. Havard up the sidelines. He breaks a tackle across the 30, the 20, breaks another tackle inside the 10, and actually the official will say he stepped out back at the 15. But a pickup there. 40 yards on the pass play from Mendoza to Havard. That's his 2nd catch of the game.
Our replay just catching the end of that one. Unfortunately, not able to get the full play.
But 1st and 10 after the big pass play there. Simple curl route. Havard just used his speed to burn down the sideline and then broke a tackle as well. Now a little read action, and Mendoza missed the handoff, then bumped to the back of his own lineman. Still will score. What a wild run there from Mendoza, a 15-yard touchdown run. And a little bit of extracurricular on the end of that, I think, from a Thompson Valley player. But little read action, and Mendoza missed the handoff, then bumped to the back of his own lineman. Still will score. What a wild run there from Mendoza, a 15-yard touchdown run.
For an Erie touchdown.
That's with 10:15 left here in this 3rd quarter, and Tigers have scored early now in the opening of both halves. And the extra point is good. So A 30-0 lead now for the Tigers. We'll take a quick timeout here on the ETN.
Front Range Landfill puts all your needs in front of everything else. Front Range Landfill won Erie Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year Award, as well as being featured on national television. We are very proud of our facility and we welcome the opportunity to address your disposal needs. Our focus is on customer service. We strive to achieve easy and rapid access in and out of the facility. We feel certain that we will exceed your expectations of your solid waste disposal requirements. Choose Front Range Landfill for all your landfill needs. You will be pleased.
And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. As Erie leads it now 30-0. It was a nice pass, catch, and run by Havard that set up an interesting run by Mendoza. The snap kind of messed up the exchange point or the mesh point a little bit. Then he ran into the back of his own player. He actually got knocked back a little bit, but it was set up well, and he was able to punch it into the end zone. Almost looked like the butt fumble, but instead it was a touchdown. So I think Mendoza, give him the check mark there as opposed to Mark Sanchez when he runs into the back of his own lineman.
Gavin on the sideline right now with the center practicing some snaps.
Decent return out across the 30, and they will start at the 32-yard line, will Thompson Valley. So Thompson Valley, 14 total yards of offense in that first half. We'll see what kind of adjustments they make, as that Tiger front was flying around. It's been a quiet night for Will Kana at safety. Has not had to do a whole lot as the front has just cleaned things up. We have seen the outside linebackers for Erie just flying into the backfield.
32.
So 1st and 10 now for the Eagles. Bockert takes, looks, fires the fade route, and overthrew his intended target. He's thrown with the wind, and he threw it over the wrong shoulder. The receiver was trying to make the adjustment, and then it just kind of sailed on him a little bit.
As has been the norm all night, pressure in Bockert's face.
Now 2nd and 10 for the Eagles here. Tigers showing blitz with both linebackers creeping up. Tigers still showing blitz. Now they'll motion Burton across. They'll hand it off to Burton. A little bit of a counter. He fumbled it, and the Tigers have it. So fumble, turnover, and a 1st down for Erie. As I don't know if the exchange was bad or what happened, but Burton just kind of lost it out of the old breadbasket.
And I believe that was number 53 for Erie. Or maybe it was 63, Keaton Dennison, that recovered the fumble.
So 1st and 10 now. First and 10 now here for Erie.
1st and 10.
Mendoza in the shotgun here from the 31, and they're going to draw an offside penalty.
Flag before the snap.
So 5 yards on Thompson Valley. We'll make it 1st and 5 now for the Tigers.
And encroachment. McConnell rolls onto his back.
That drew some good laughs out of Mr. Cecina in the booth next to us. He liked that one. 1st and 5. Snap is good. Mendoza will find a wide open man. Oh, and I don't know if that was caught in bounds. It was not.
We'll take another look at that one.
That was Tab Sire, and I think he just lost where the sideline was. And we were going to try, yep, we will be able to show you a replay. Oh, man, just had that left foot out of bounds as he tried to bend down and almost catch it off his shoe tops. So 2nd and 5 here for the Tigers. Van Landingham will go in motion. He's the H-back here. Handoff to VV. Bounces it to the outside, trying to get the corner. Still stringing it out. Now flag's coming as he will lean it across the 20. He has enough right now for a first down after a gain of about 7, but there might have been a hold in there from Erie. We already saw one hold wipe off a VV run earlier this drive.
This one, either a hold or a block in the back.
Excuse me, that was last drive, I think. They're running together now. The Tigers got quick possession back after that fumble, and let's see what the official call is. And it will be a block in the back on Erie. So an illegal block in the back will push Erie back 10 yards from the spot. I'll say that was 2 yards beyond the marker. So 2nd and 9. Mendoza in the pistol here. VV behind him. Now he'll throw the fade, and I think an interference call. 2 flags coming in as the defensive back was turned and trying to just get to the ball, and there was nowhere to go, was Dylan Hall. He tried to get back to it, and so an interference call, and I know at least the Thompson Valley assistants don't like it. It's been one of the more animated opposing coaches boxes we've had all year.
Good little bit of entertainment for us. It's cold, we could use a little bit.
So 15-yard penalty will give Erie a first down. And that will move the ball all the way up to the 15.
And on that call, I'll say it was the right call. Hall coming back and trying to get through the defensive backs with the head turned. And what the defensive back made contact about a second and a half before the ball got there. That's why both of those flags came out.
Mendoza gets the snap, pitches it forward to Van Landingham, and good running by Van Landingham. He tried to bend the edge, ends up picking up 7, almost 8 yards there. And actually that will go down as a pass play, as that was a little pitch forward.
So a 7-yard reception for Van Landingham.
2nd and 3 now for the Tigers. Mendoza flanked to his left by Vivi. Has Van Landingham and Hall as split outs. And this time they'll fake the little pitch. Oh, and Mendoza had a touchdown and just stumbled all the way down to the 2. So a 6, no, they'll mark him at the 1. A 7-yard pickup for Mendoza, and he almost had his second rushing touchdown of the night.
Slips trying to make a cut and unable to get into the end zone was Mendoza.
First and goal for the 1 here for the Tigers. They'll run the Wildcat here with Vivi and Vera. We call it the Killer V backfield. Snap, handoff Vera, and he'll punch it in for the Tiger touchdown. So Vera from 1 yard out will score. He had a touchdown last week, and he has a touchdown here with 8 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. And with 8 minutes left in the third quarter, the Tigers are now in running clock watch as they are a score away from activating the running clock, which would be, I think, even maybe some Thompson Valley fans would be pleased with that. There's the snap. The kick is good, just squeaked through near the left upright. So 37-0. We'll take a quick timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network. And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. 37-0. Tigers a score away from having all our frozen hearts and dreams come true. 8 minutes on the dot remaining here in this third quarter. It's been tough kind of kicking this direction. The wind blowing pretty good out of the south. And in fact, they'll do a squibber this time, and that's probably the best idea. And that's been the best kick coverage of the night. And actually, the ball was on the turf for a second. I think the Thompson Valley, and they'll say he was down anyways. I thought the runner for Thompson Valley ended up scooping it up from his back regardless. But Thompson Valley's put it on the ground a few times here in the last couple minutes.
In that case, a scenario of where the ground did cause the fumble for the Eagle returner.
So 1st and 10 for Thompson Valley. They'll start their drive right at the 25. Always interesting to see how often officials will spot the ball right on the line. Makes the mechanics of measuring and calling the game a little bit easier. Under pressure now is Bachert rolling, looking for help. He'll fire the comeback route toward the 30, and they'll say he was not in bounds, and so that one is incomplete. Tyson Bachert, 2 for 8 tonight for 6 yards, but he has been running for his life. Now 2nd and 10 for Thompson Valley. This time the pistol formation. I think the deep man is Schaefer, and they will give it to him, and a big hole for Schaefer on the left side, and Schaefer will get it all the way up to the 40. So a 15-yard run there by Schaefer. Tell you what, if you take away the run game from Bachert, Thompson Valley has averaged almost 5 yards a carry tonight, but they just have not given their backs many carries. In fact, 9 total carries for their running backs tonight, and as soon as we say that, there's a handoff and a loss of 3 for Schaefer. So after a 15-yard run, he'll lose 3 there, and for the Tigers, I believe that's their 8th tackle for a loss tonight, including a safety.
They've slowed down a bit since that first quarter.
6:48 remaining here in the third quarter. Bachert in the pistol takes a quick snap, hands it off, and the delay, and off to the races goes Burton. And Burton dragged down as he crosses the Tiger 30. So a 30, they're going to give him 35 yards on the carry.
They'll actually move the ball and spot it at the 26.
So 34-yard pickup, but the Tigers have been sending pressure, and the delay, the right call that time. Right up the middle, miles of green to run. Now handoff, and there's a good tackle in the backfield. Another loss of 1, and that's the 9th tackle for a loss. And so once again, I kind of mentioned, if you take away the running of Bachert, they've averaged over 6 yards a carry now, have Thompson Valley tonight.
And I believe at least 2 or 3 of their big runs for over 10 yards, they have 3 of those have come from those draw plays.
Bachert will sling one up on the post and drop. That was right in the breadbasket of his intended target. I think that was Ethan Charles out there, and he just couldn't bring it in. That was thrown well before he broke for his post route. It was a good timed throw. It was well placed, just couldn't bring it in, was Charles.
And it almost looked like Charles tried to take a step back in to come catch it, and as if he was expecting it to be deeper into the end zone.
3rd and 11 now. High snap, just catching it and handing it off to Burton. Burton will have decent yardage and will be enough for a first down. A 13-yard pickup there for Burton. Before this drive, we mentioned that they just haven't handed the ball off enough tonight as Thompson Valley. They've gone to the air a lot. They've run with their quarterback a lot. When they've handed off, it's been a little bit better. Another high snap and a handoff, and Burton does a nice job bouncing off a Tiger defender and hammering his way forward for about 5 yards.
Maybe the Thompson Valley coaches have been listening to us like we've been listening to them.
2nd and 5 now. Here for the Eagles. As we try and get out of the way so you don't see the glare, and as soon as we say that, there's a timeout. We'll step aside. Tigers still lead it 37-0.
You have a plan in place for your family's future in the event something happens to you. Are you caring for aging parents, grandparents, or a loved one with special needs? The Germany law firm named 2017 Erie's Chamber Business of the Year provides expert legal guidance and peace of mind for you and your family in the areas of probate, elder law, and estate planning. Visit Germany Law Firm's Erie Village office or website at coelderlaw.net to set up a personalized consultation.
And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. A throw out of the timeout. Oh, and just missing. That was the intended target. Isaac Miller. And another decent pass, but just couldn't hook up, was Bachert.
Couldn't quite tell who was on the coverage there for Erie. They were close to an interception in the end zone.
3rd and 5 now for Thompson Valley. Snap, give, and here comes the wave of Tiger defenders, and the 10th tackle for a loss tonight.
And you've got to assume if you're Thompson Valley here, the offense is just going to stay on the field. And with a very wide being 37-0 margin and 4 minutes and change left in the 3rd quarter, they'll be going for it here.
They will. 4th and 6 here. Bachert in the shotgun. Burton to his left. He's got 2 wideouts to the near side. Bachert being pressured, and he's going to be sacked. Dylan Hall just flew in there and dropped him. A loss of 9 on the play. And my goodness. The Tiger defense has been flying around all night.
Hall had this tackle for the safety. He has the sack here to force the 4 and out and give Erie's offense the ball back with now just a hair under 4 minutes left in this 3rd quarter.
So Erie will come out of the timeout here with the ball spotted at the 19.
Maybe their worst field position of the night.
A score would activate the running clock for the rest of this game. Mendoza will send a man in motion. Hands it off to Vivi, left side, no one there! Vivi across the 40, one man to beat, gets around him! Vivi off to the races, and he will score! Mason Vivi, 81 yards to the house, and fire up the clock. It is going to be running the rest of this game. And across Mason the Vivi, 40, one man to beat, gets around him! Like Vivi off to the races, and he will score! Mason Vivi, 81 yards. 43-0 lead. And now the clock rolls, and the Tiger fans, I think, happy about that.
Vivi, a perfect hesitation around midfield. That let him get past the one last player that he needed to. And now the rest of the game will go quickly.
Dominic will line up here for the extra point. He's been perfect so far tonight. Snap is good, hold is good, and the kick is right down the pipe. So Erie leads it 44-0 here. And, well, Grayson, I mean, you kind of expected this type of game here tonight. Next week, though, a league championship. The Tigers could win back-to-back league championships. And who else? Fort Morgan had to go out and face Fort Morgan last year for a league championship. And they just announced the running clock here, and the fans just went wild.
I think it's safe to say all the fans here now, parents of football players, as you mentioned earlier, relatively low attendance, well, relatively low, very low attendance for your average football game, but parents braving the cold to watch their sons play, they're very happy that this game will be moving faster.
Tell you what, if you're a player and you have gone back and you're watching this game, or maybe you're even a student at home, you better hug your parents for being here in the stands, because that's awful nice of them to be out here tonight during the elements just to watch you play football. That's so if you're rewatching this, whenever that is, give them a hug. So kickoff time for the Tigers, a minute and a half now left in this third quarter. Tell you what, if not that you want to do this, but taking your time on the plays after scores before kickoffs, it's running clock. I don't think too many people would be disappointed. A minute and 7 seconds left, and it will be the 45 is where Thompson Valley will start. By the way, Mason Vivi, we mentioned he had over 1,000 yards rushing coming in today. Now after that 81-yard rush, 158 on the night. So well over 1,100 yards on an outstanding junior campaign for Vivi. There's a high snap, handoff right side, and Burton does a good job bouncing off the defender and then picking up a couple yards. By the way, I mentioned this on the broadcast last week, but since it wasn't televised, I thought I'd mention this again. I got a call last week. We were at state softball, and I said, the heck coach Higgins is calling me, the running back coach for the Erie Tigers. Is no false start is called there. Instead, they'll say that they were looking to the sideline. Coach Higgins called and said that he wanted us to mention on the broadcast because Andrew Piper had knee surgery last week, and they went in, and I think it was a little bit more significant than they were expecting, and obviously he's out for the year, and that's the second year. He says, you know what, he deserves a shout-out because he's a kid that has had so much thrown at him in his life, and he continues to be just a positive kid, a great kid, and he's very upset that this was thrown at him again, but we wish him the best in his recovery from another knee injury.
We absolutely do. We hope to see him back. I hope to be able to watch him play a full, healthy season in a year. I know back when he was a freshman, there were rumors about what he could do on the football field that you heard. You went out, you watched the freshman team play. He looked very good. And it's tough to bounce back from multiple knee surgeries, but just from how Coach Higgins talks about him, if there's anyone that can, it's Andrew Piper.
So 3rd and 7 for Thompson Valley. The chain didn't even have to move. That's the first time I think I've ever seen that between quarters, is there's a completed pass and spinning out of it and gaining positive yards there. And a decent play there and a pickup there of about 15 yards.
For Andrew Wiersema. I believe that's how you say the last name.
It's the longest play in the air tonight for Thompson Valley. Second team out there for the Tigers now. Hand off to Burton, left side, plenty of room to run across the 30, and enough for the first down. Picks up 12 is Burton, and he put together a decent night now. 82 yards on the ground for Caleb Burton. Clock still rolling. Some Tiger youngsters getting some time in there. 1st and 10 now from the 24. High snap. Good snare there by Bockert. Just kind of leaning it forward is Burton.
Bockert listed at 6'1". From here, he's looked a little shorter. He had to elevate to grab that one.
Yeah, he barely caught that by the tips of his fingers. So 2nd and 6, long, deliberate snap count here. Here comes the post route, caught, plucked out of the air, and a first down all the way down to the 1-yard line. A 23-yard pass play for Bockert, and I think Grayson's trying to track down who the pass catcher was.
Not sure who it was. It might have been Wiersma again. Eric Everett's in coverage.
1st and goal from the 1 for Thompson Valley. Handoff, Burton, and he will stumble into the end zone for a Thompson Valley touchdown. So the first score of the night for Thompson Valley with 9:34 and counting here in the 4th quarter.
And will this stop the running clock?
No. It is continuing to run for the rest of the game. That's the good news about getting across 40 there, Grayson.
Wasn't sure. I'm happy to see the clock keep ticking.
We are anxiously awaiting our warm houses after this game, I think.
9 minutes remaining in this ballgame. It's now the Erie Tigers 44. The Eagles of Thompson Valley 7.
So 44-7 the score here as the clock rolls on. Fans, one more time, I know we mentioned this earlier, but we'd love for you to partner with us in our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Erie Tiger Network. You can sponsor the Erie Tiger Network for as little as $1 a month. You could sponsor an in-broadcast read, and actually we forgot to mention our halftime show brought to you by Miners, as they are a sponsor of the Erie Tiger Network. So a shout-out to Lee and company there at Miners. And guess what? For the best place to post-game, and today post-game in a warm place, head to Miners off Briggs.
And be sure to check out the Tiger Times, a story on Miners Tavern coming soon to the Tiger Times.
Oh, okay. All right. 8 minutes and rolling here as the Tigers will move now to 6-3. And if you talk to fans or just kind of people, everyone's just like, after they lost to Pueblo South and Frederick, okay, this is a down year. But when you look at it, the Tigers about to win their 6th game. They are going to play for a league championship. They could win 7 games in a down year, quote unquote, as there's an onside kick, and it's picked up by Thompson Valley. So they'll get the ball back here. That was an excellent sky kick, by the way. What I was going to say, though, is in a down, quote-unquote, year for the Tigers, when you're still playing for 7 wins in the league championship, you might even host a playoff game, depending on how RPI works out. I'd say that's a pretty good indication of how strong this Tiger football program has been, and hopefully will continue to be.
Most teams can't say that when they're having a down year, they're 7-3 and hosting a playoff game.
Snap. Bacher looks, fires, post, intercepted. Interception for the Tigers. And that was picked off by Eric Everts. And he is lifted up by his teammates. Those guys are happy for Eric down there. Bacher looks,
As we
fires,
take another
post,
look at
intercepted.
that one. Everts
Interception
undercut the
for
route
the
perfectly.
Tigers.
Read it.
And
his first interception of the year, maybe of his career. We'll have to do a little bit of the digging into the stats to find that one out. Alex Austin now in at quarterback for Erie.
Austin will hand it off, and I wasn't sure if that was Thyssen. Loss of about 2 there.
Now we get to play the name game. Name all the players in. It's always fun when you have a lead and some guys that don't get as much varsity time get to be on the field towards the end of games. Gage Nichols at wide receiver.
Austin will hand it off. A little hesitation at the line of scrimmage by Thyssen, and he will get a yard on the play.
Will Johns also at receiver. Braden Rao.
I don't think that could be right. Brain, I think, still. Well, there is. I mean, that's 82 is out there. We know that's Braden Rao's number. Well, I thought he was lost for the year with the collarbone injury. I don't know. Maybe even Madison Gambon, who's producing this game tonight for us, is saying, yeah, he's definitely hurt. Now Thyssen will bounce to the outside. Good pickup there by Thyssen. He's up the sideline. Thyssen across the 40 and finally gets yanked down. And Caleb Thyssen with the nice run. Almost, let's see where they marked this. A 29-yard run by Caleb Thyssen.
Justin Jones, Andrew Nazarenas will come in now, as well as Jacob Flood, who has been playing fullback.
Austin in the pistol will take the 1st and 10 snap, hand it off to Thyssen. Left side, big hole. Thyssen cuts it back toward the marker, and they'll give him 11 yards and a 1st down. And so back-to-back big runs there by Thyssen. He's got 37. The Tigers 230 yards rushing now in this one. 364 total.
Jackson Clancy out there at center. The freshman.
Austin scans, hands. That's Crooks now. And Crooks did not want to be brought down, running with some desire there. He'll pick up a yard. 2:44 remaining now.
There's a number 77 on the field. Colby Arlington's old number, but no 77 on our roster. Cy Pinto, Logan Gilmore, also in on the line. By the way, it was Logan Gilmore who recovered that fumble earlier.
Now Austin will keep it himself. Left side, stringing it out, and finally gets lassoed after a pickup of a couple there.
Knocked out near the sidelines, but a gain of a couple. Third down for the Tigers.
Sam Baker also out there on the line.
By the way, VV tonight after that 81-yard run, 13 carries, 158. That's his total, 12.2 yards a carry tonight. So 3rd and 7. In the pistol now. Handoff, Crooks, left side, carrying the ball high, gets through the hole, and how about that? Cameron Crooks will score a first touchdown, I believe, of his career. If you remember back to a couple years ago, Crooks got in the game, scored, and was called back due to a penalty, and so we're pumped to see Cameron score there.
That was a 68-yard scamper he had 2 years ago against Eagle Valley.
We'll see Cameron's brother, Zach, tomorrow on the ETN. Cameron, my student aide, so I'm especially happy to see him punch that one in. And I missed where that ball was snapped and the total yardage of the run. We'll have to go back and take a look at that in the film room later this week. But that should be the last play of the game. With 33 seconds left, the Tigers will win this one 51-7. And that will pretty much do it. So Cameron Crooks puts an exclamation point on this. And next week, we will have a league championship for you here live on the Erie Tiger Network against the Fort Morgan Mustangs. We'll have soccer, playoff soccer, tomorrow on the Erie Tiger Network. Who knows if they win? We might have another playoff game in the middle of the week. Should be a fun week here on the Erie Tiger Network. That's going to do it for us, though, here tonight as we are going to pack up and get warm somewhere for Mr. Havard stepping in and running our camera, and Madison Gambon, our producer. As always, Grayson Blaylock on the color. I'm Brandon Burr. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, I'll chirp at you later.